Kingpin wants a valuable clay tablet that is currently on display at ESU here in New York. It should be an easy grab even though it's being guarded, but when one of his employees mentions the danger of Spider-Man, the Kingpin rips his shirt off, beats up 6 men and then fires them all for not making him even need to sweat. He's a little angry about Spider-Man it seems, but once he has the clay tablet, he'll have his final reckoning with our hero. We're reading every Spider-Man ever, and this is the Amazing Spider-Man issue 68, Crisis on the Campus. The next day at ESU, Peter Parker meets Randy Robertson, son of Robbie Robertson, and an abrasive kid named Josh. They ask Peter how he feels about the exhibition hall, which Peter knows nothing about, and they tell him that after the tablet exhibition, the hall is going to be turned into private dorms for alumni instead of low-cost student housing that was promised. They've been petitioning the dean to reverse the decision, but his answer was no. But not for long, they say ominously as they walk away. But Peter doesn't have time to think about what they said, as Gwen catches up and distracts him. Meanwhile and elsewhere, Jonah complains to Robbie Robertson that he didn't get the story about Spider-Man's fight with Mysterio from last issue. Of course, neither did anybody else. But Robbie is too busy worrying about his son. And elsewhere once more, Peter and Gwen pay a visit to Aunt May to see how she's faring after the Mysterio-induced faint. She's on the mend, she claims, and her nephew's visit has made her feel very happy indeed. Until they leave, and we learn that Aunt May is pale and ill, and just didn't want to worry her nephew Peter. The next day, Peter arrives at ESU to find a protest on campus, advocating for low-rent dorms. Randy invites Peter to join them. Once they have enough people, they'll march on the exhibition hall, and Peter hesitates, with questions about exactly what is going on. Josh gets aggressive when Peter asks questions, and when Peter leaves, refusing to be part of a protest he doesn't know about, Josh calls him a chicken. Peter regrets leaving as he heads inside ESU. His sympathies are with the kids, but Josh pushed his buttons and he stormed off, and he's worried that he's disappointed Randy. As he admires the clay tablet on display, the protest outside finally reaches capacity and begins to get rowdy. Outside, some of the crowd don't want Randy involved, calling him the son of an Uncle Tom because of his dad's profession, but Josh stands up for Randy and then leads the protest to shake up the establishment and take over the exhibition hall. Robbie and Jonah learn of the protest and send news vans. And the Kingpin also learns of the protest and sees it as the perfect opportunity to steal the clay tablet. In ESU, the protest begins to clash with the police who are guarding the tablet, and one of the cops pulls a gun on the kids because he's a cop, and things start heating up. And Peter Parker wants to help, but there isn't really a big bad to hit as Spider-Man, and so he just takes pictures. At least he can make some money from this situation. But suddenly, he gets his big bad to hit. An explosion goes off on campus, planted by the Kingpin's men, and while the guards are distracted, Kingpin smashes the door off the hinges and strides into the hall to steal the tablet. But Spider-Man swings over the heads of the protesters to put a stop to the villain. Spidey finds the Kingpin using gas fired from his cane to knock out the guards, and he swings down and punches him. But the Kingpin rises and barrels towards Spider-Man, grabbing him in a bear hug and crushing him, before slamming him down on the ground. The Kingpin is about to finish the job, and our hero forever, when Randy jumps at him from behind and gets slammed into a wall for his troubles. But the distraction gives Spidey enough time to rally, and he delivers punch after punch after punch until the Kingpin falls. But he's not down and out, and he reaches for his cane and he fires, taking down a marble wall. Spidey doesn't have time to swing Randy away, but he shields his new friend with his body as the wall comes down on them both. After excavating from the rubble, Spidey makes sure that Randy is alive before fleeing the scene as the cops arrive. He watches as Randy is arrested, and Robbie, his father, newly arrived, promises to give his son the best legal aid possible. Knowing that Randy will be alright with his dad at his side, Spider-Man swings after the Kingpin's men, who plan to lead the webhead into a trap. Thanks for watching and joining me on this journey to read every Spider-Man ever. You can click the link in the description to read the issue, and if you want to support the channel and get early and exclusive episodes, you can do so on Patreon or by joining this channel. Next week, there's a new hero in the city called Yellow Jacket, but while we wait for that issue, here's a fun fact about this one. This issue was very much of the moment. Student protests were taking place across the country, and Reagan declared martial law, allowing the protesters to be tear-gassed. Less than 8 months after this issue was released, a police raid on the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in New York, resulted in the Stonewall riots, a key event at the start of the gay rights movement.